I'm sorry?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So, what time did you leave the house today?
No. Can you pull my vehicle in the driveway?
What time did you leave the house?
I'm not answering.
You're not answering? Okay.
Listen to me, okay?
Yes,
I'm not playing no games. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not your
Neither
dumbass. I'm not your dumbass, all right?
The way I was raised by my parents, they would be arrested today.
Yeah.
For how that, because because.
All right, folks, here we go again. Another case where government overreach collides with common sense. And guess who gets cuffed and hauled off to jail? A mom. That's right. A Georgia mother is now facing 5 to 10 years in prison because she let her 8 and 10-year-old kids stay at home for a few hours while she ran an errand. Nobody got hurt, nothing happened, and the kids were okay. But apparently that don't matter to law enforcement or to the district attorney's office, who decided to slap her with the felony that's normally reserved for people who beat the shit out of their kids or lock them in closets. Let's break this video down.
Are you
How's it going?
You gotta put your back.
Me? Yep. Yeah, put your other back.
Put your one back, but
Chaz, get her.
I got my phone in my hand.
On April 15th, Alexandra Woodward did what millions of parents have done at one point or another. She made dinner with her kids, played a board game, then put them to bed, and told them she was heading out for a few hours with her boyfriend to a storage unit. She gave them a phone. She said, "If you guys need anything, give me a call." She even told them they could go next door to the neighbor's house if they needed to. Her crime? Exercising parental judgment. Somewhere in the middle of that errand, either one of the boys called her dad or vice versa. The record isn't exactly clear, but Dad, apparently not thrilled with the situation, called 911, and here came the stormtroopers.
Here, drop the phone here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wait.
Cruelty to children?
Seriously?
Seriously?
We know the guidelines. Order the guidelines. Order the guidelines. Tell me what the guidelines are. I'm so curious. What the guidelines are.
37 section. 95, 1 male and 1 female.
Can I ask you where it is?
With the father. Alright, come on.
2 officers show up in tactical vests because, God forbid, we respond to children without dressing like we're clearing a meth lab. They find the boys safe, not crying, not bruised, beat up, or anything like that. Just, home. But that's not enough. They call Child Protective Services, CPS, and they call the dad to come pick up the kids. And then, hours later, when Woodward and her boyfriend returned home just before midnight, 5 officers were waiting. Not 2, not 3, not 4, motherfucking 5.
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
I got your phone in your baby.
Well, can I write down some phone numbers?
In a second, hold on.
And what about your dogs?
That's what I was...
Alexandra and her boyfriend are both arrested, cuffed, booked, and tossed into separate jail cells for 3 days. Both of them are now facing first-degree felony charges for child cruelty under Georgia law. That charge carries a mandatory minimum of 5 years each. The state is treating this the same way they'd treat someone who starved their kids or tortured them.
Which number?
We're good for
You could probably call them from the jail and...
Alright. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say or do can be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're doing questions. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to you to represent you before any questioning as you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of the rights I've given to you?
Yes. Can I...
1 second. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to talk to me now?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I ask one question?
Yes, you can.
Pull my vehicle in the driveway?
We'll do that in a minute, okay?
I'm sorry?
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
So, what time did you leave the house today?
No. Can you pull my vehicle in the driveway?
What time did you leave
I'm
the
not
house?
answering.
You're not answering? Okay.
Listen to me, okay?
Yes, sir.
I'm not playing no games. I'm not doing that, okay? I'm not
Neither
your
am I.
dumbass. I'm not your dumbass, alright? He's asking you a question. He read you your rights, and you said you would talk to him. Do you wish to talk to him? I'm not talking to you right now. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Do you want to
I'm
use your
talking to you.
rights?
Do you want to speak to him? Yes or no?
Yeah, I'll speak to you. Can you?
Okay,
pull-
close the door. She's not
Okay.
going to do it.
What do y'all want to lock the house with?
You can leave it unlocked.
We can leave it unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay. Leave it unlocked. Yeah. All right, sir. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him or her present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, it won't be appointed to you. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statements. Do you understand each of the rights I've given to you?
Yes.
Okay, having these rights in mind, do you want to talk to me now? Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Your back camera? I mean,
Okay, thank you. That's his stuff? Okay.
I just see you do something to go through where they're not, they're afraid to be. So, you know, you can't keep that in mind. 10 and 8 is way too long to be doing stuff like that.
All right, I got your phone and your vape. I got your phone, key, and cigarettes. Y'all need anything else? No. What was that?
First degree through the children.
Okay.
The 10 and 8 is way too young. I mean, about the minimum you can be is 13. And they have to be able to provide for themselves. That's the reason I asked the dad, could they do that stuff?
Right.
So, and he said, no.
This isn't justice, folks. This is parents weaponizing police against other parents. This is police overstepping their boundaries, turning what looks like a civil matter into straight felonies. This is vengeance dressed up as law. And what's worse, the law they're charged under doesn't even fit the facts. Georgia's statute says first-degree cruelty to children happens when you maliciously cause excessive physical or mental pain, or willfully deprive the child of necessary sustenance. Leaving two healthy, capable kids at home with a phone and a plan is not malicious, it's not depriving them of anything, and it sure as hell isn't a felony. To make it even more ridiculous, Georgia's own Department of Family and Children's Services says 9 to 12-year-olds can be left alone at home for a few hours. Woodward's youngest, he's 8, but only by a month. Are we really going to start arresting people based on birthdays? Now here's the kicker. This summer, a new Georgia law goes into effect that would make this kind of prosecution explicitly illegal. The Reasonable Childhood Independence Bill signed in May clarifies that parents have the right to decide when their kids are mature enough to be left alone, unless there's intentional disregard of a serious and imminent risk. Spoiler alert, a vape pen on the counter and a half-drunk can of Twisted Tea do not meet that standard. But since the law doesn't go into effect until July, prosecutors are charging her under the old law because, of course, they are. They do whatever they can to ruin people's lives. Let me ask you the obvious question. What are we doing? Are we so drunk on government authority that we now arrest parents for making judgment calls we personally wouldn't make? Since when is nothing bad happened not a good enough outcome? This mother is being criminalized not because her kids were harmed, but because the state thinks they could have been. That's not law enforcement. That's Minority Report parenting policy. This is the kind of prosecution that erodes trust in the justice system. It turns cops into enforcers of moral preference. And it punishes parents not for being abusive, but for being imperfect humans in an imperfect world. If you're outraged, you're not alone. Support groups like ParentsUSA are helping families like this fight back. Because if this is how we define child cruelty now, then every parent in America should be looking over their shoulder. If this type of policing doesn't make you angry, just wait till it happens to someone you know, or even maybe yourself. I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. We'll keep you updated on this story. See you on the next one. Peace.